Hi, welcome to the show. It's June 18th, 2021. And these are the stories throughout the week that, you might have missed, or what I found interesting, or what I think you might find interesting. And the first one is your updated murder news in Australia. So this follows Natasha Beth Darcy. Nailed it. That may not be her character's name in the movie they inevitably make about this murder. They will make one. On Tuesday in the New South Wales Supreme Court, she was found guilty of killing her then boyfriend, Matthew Dunbar, in August 2017. She did this by sedating Mr. Dunbar, then gassing him to death by filling a plastic bag tied around his head with helium. Okay, it's a murder, but there's more to this. It wasn't just a crime of passion.
It wasn't?
No, and one of her big shortfalls in this, one of the things that bolstered her case, was being technologically illiterate. The Crown prosecutor presented search history they found on her computer. The fun ones are 99 undetectable poisons, what drugs are best for suicide, 11 toxic plants that look like food. Are there plants that look like food? After suicide, is a house a crime scene? How does potassium chloride stop the heart? How does potassium chloride stop the heart? Sorry, Google that. I mean, she should get a VPN or go into incognito mode on Chrome or private browsing mode. To her credit, one of her search history terms was how long Telstra web history. So it tells you a lot. But this isn't all just search history. There's more. You see, I'm sure Mr. Dunbar was a lovely man. He housed her and her 3 children for 9 months. Within 1 year of meeting her in May 2015, he waited for her while she was in jail. Why was she in jail? For stealing her ex-boyfriend's credit card and using it and making false assault allegations against him. In case you're not getting a good picture of what type of person we're dealing with here, why did she want Mr. Dunbar? Well, he was a sheep farmer and he owned a $3.5 million 1,200 acre farm just up on the border between New South Wales and Queensland. To which she pushed him into making her a beneficiary of. Is the picture being painted a little bit here? But just in case you're thinking she's just 6s and 7s for his 6 figures, it's just a standard murder, there's a little bit more to this. See, on the night of the murder, one of the first responders was paramedic Colin Crossman.
Who's Colin Crossman?
Her ex-husband, who in 2009, she hit in the temple with a hammer as he slept. She said it was an intruder, but later admitted that that was lies. And then a few days later, while they slept in bed, she sedated him and then burned the house down. His house. In fact, this video here is the interview following Mr. Dunbar's murder. One of the cops that's in that video, a senior constable who charged her in the 2009 attempted murder of Mr. Crossman. Where are they sitting? They're sitting in Mr. Crossman's house, the one she didn't burn down. Now, just in case you're going to fact check this, Walter, where all this took place, has a population of 1,421 people. So maybe less of a coincidence, but if you're going to bang, steal, and murder 0.2% of the population of a small town, it's probably not the best plan. Next story, onto something a little less contentious. Birth control for women. What am I doing? We've seen a bit of backlash with regards to a $2.5 million federally funded Monash University trial, which will see pharmacists ask purchasers of the morning after pill or the medical abortion pill whether they want a sit-down private room counseling session. Now in that session, they'll lay out birth control options and where they can get them, e.g. clinics. This will happen after the purchase has been made. The idea is to educate in a country where we're seeing a perceived high number of unwanted pregnancies. Education is the key, and it's happening after the transaction. I've said it twice now, after. Well, I trust the university wished that a Murdoch newspaper had done that research before writing this headline, Talk Before Birth Control, on June 12th. I'm not a journo, but it's a shit article which doesn't really go into what medical counselling means in a medical context, nor does it stress at all where this private chat takes place in the transaction. Instead, it just pads out the second half of the article about medical complications and why that's a bad thing. It also has that little exclusive stamp on it, which I'm very doubtful that this is an exclusive story about a university trial. Commercial media just loves an exclusive stamp. They love it. Naturally, some took to Twitter, like Karen Williams, the founder of Doctors Against Violence Towards Women. As someone who works with rape survivors, the last thing she needs is someone assuming she's pregnant because she didn't know what her choices were. But most importantly, the headline raised the ire of Victoria Labor MP Gabrielle Williams, who also happens to be the Minister for Women in that state. She tweeted a photo of the article saying, "A child almost dies of sepsis in immigration detention and the federal government refuses to act. Meanwhile, with the other hand, it pushes a not-so-subtle pro-life agenda." Following a lot of back and forth in the tweet, in a statement to The Guardian Australia, she said that her problem doesn't lie with the educational side, but rather just the detriment of timing. "My concern is that having these conversations at a time of potential crisis may leave women and girls feeling judged rather than informed and be a deterrent to seeking future help." Professor Danielle Mazza, the chair of general practice at the university, said that in training these pharmacists, trauma training is included and any moral component is excluded, only enabling informed choice for, the next time they want to fuck, basically. As for any pro-life agenda, I can't disagree that this right-wing government, liberal government, has such an agenda, but as the health minister's spokesperson pointed out, they're only funding this project. It is an independent and peer-reviewed process. They aren't running it. And Mazza herself obviously defended her pro-choice stance in saying, "I've spent my entire professional career advocating for the rights of women in relation to women's health and contraception and abortion." And you know what? I really don't know where to stand on this because, I'm not a woman. But as a man who's gone to a doctor and had him kindly say to me, "I'm sure I don't have to explain condoms, do I, whenever I want to get blood work done," and still felt a little confronted, I think I can comment on this just on a human level, on a shame level. I think if you went to a pharmacist and got asked this, it would just be a little bit confronting. And that's before you even consider that a pharmacist is not somebody you choose or book. It's just the dude or the woman who was rostered on whenever you walked into the chemist. A doctor you choose. We haven't even considered the state that you would be in to go and get one of these pills, or whether or not it was the result of a sexual assault. Problem is, if not here, then when? The morning after pill doesn't require a GP for a prescription. So in a landscape yearning for better education, where do we intercept that? The president of the Pharmacy Guild of Australia, Anthony Tazzone, said, "I've lost count of the time speaking with a patient they weren't aware of other contraceptive options." So who's around to provision it if not a pharmacist? And that brings us to the end of the show. I invite you to drop some comments down below. I'm neither a woman nor am I a murderer, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. So if I've missed anything or anything I probably should have mentioned, drop them down below. I'm interested in your thoughts. If there are any stories I've missed, drop that down below as well. Hit the like or the subscribe, probably pointing in the wrong places. I have an Olympics video coming. That's about why the Olympics will never be cancelled, especially the Tokyo Olympics. So hang out for that, and I will catch you in that video.